Today's sponsor of BOPCAST is sodabeats.com, the best and most simple way to make beats online right now. There's no ripping them from YouTube, no stealing other people's beats, getting insanely compressed versions of people's beats that they've used hundreds of thousands of times. You get to make your own beats the most simple way possible. You don't have to have any music production experience, and then you can render them out, download them, and use them for any purpose forever. It's the best way to make beats online. sodabeats.com. Ladies and gentlemen.
Dun dun dun.
Yo, we warming up out here.
We're ready.
Back for another episode of BOPCAST today.
Yep.
I'm BOPCAST. I got Simon, also known by
That's
his
Sai.
artist name.
What's good? Sai Music.
Sai Music,
Yeah.
you know it, man. So Sai, if you guys been following me at all, you might have seen we dropped a song, Five Fingers, that we worked on together, and it's and it was fun to make that. It was fun
Great
to do
vibes.
the video. It was fun
Yeah.
to do the song, like everything, man. Work with Tom and just making it happen, and releasing a video, like the first video I've done with somebody else.
Yeah.
And the second video really that I had, second or third video I'd ever done. And it was just awesome, man. And just to,
Good. I'm glad you
create
had a
with
good
somebody.
time.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
what
so did
actually,
I.
which is even better than the song and the video itself, was us performing it that day.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah. I mean, all of our performances of that song are pretty dope. I like them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True, 100%. And but just to be just to do that on stage, that's
Yeah.
another thing I had never done too, is be on another song with somebody and then perform it. I've been on songs with people, but I've never performed it like that.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was awesome, man. And I really appreciate you coming
Word.
up here and being here.
Yeah, of course. I need to do another one of those shows because COVID is messing everything up.
True.
Oh, before we get too far into it, should I avoid curses or should I?
Oh,
Does it matter?
You can say whatever
All
you
right,
want
cool.
on this podcast. That's why I did this, because I want no limitations, man. So many times in our life we have to watch what we say, and I want to have an experience in a place where you can literally you don't even have to think before you speak. You can if you want, for sure.
Amen.
But it's a safe space, man.
Yeah.
This is a different type of safe space from my safe spaces people out there.
I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm down, man.
so Simon, he's an artist, a lyricist.
Yep.
You've been, I don't know how long you've been making music for, but we're gonna go down that route. But if you want, just give people a gist of who you are, what you do. You can speak on the messages that you've talked about in your music too, if you want. But we'll definitely go down that kind of avenue as well. But if you want to just, who are you? Who is Simon?
So basically right now, I do pop music, I do rap music, and basically everything in between. I wouldn't say that even now my shit is mostly pop, but it does have a lot more melodies than when I first started rapping. But I think that it's a healthy change from where I was to where I am now, and I really like the songs a lot more now. At a point, it almost felt like I was doing the boom bap heavy flows for people asking me to do those types of songs instead of me wanting to make music that way. In the beginning it was, but then after a while people were just like, yo, you need more bars, and it's at the end of the day it's not all about bars. So you need to know the balance, even because you have to be able to evolve with the times. Somebody that's properly evolved with the times is Lil Wayne. I think that his music in every generation was popping when it blew up, when it came out. But there are others like Eminem that kind of their music became monotonous at a certain point. So I don't know. I just don't want to be making music for anybody else. I want to be making it for me, and then just have people around me that mess with that, as my fans or in my circle or whatever it is. Because
I agree about
that's basically who I am as an artist.
Yeah, and a dope artist at that. And I will let people know, by the way, I agree about the M and the Wayne thing.
Yeah,
completely. I will say, I worked at a studio called The Vault.
Yes.
And shout out to Tyler Braddocks, man.
Shout out.
Runs a really tight shit there. And he basically, I had been, I told this story on two podcasts ago, so I'm not going to tell it now, but of how I found the vault. But anyway, I applied for an unpaid internship at a music studio. I started working there for like 2.5 months, and that was 2 summers ago. And in there, I came across some artists. And when you work in a music studio, you get to see a lot of different artists, and you don't always get an inside glimpse at an artist's process unless you work at a studio.
Right.
So I was in there, man. You came in with I think you and Turk.
I think so, yeah.
And I forget who else was in. A couple other heads were in there, and you guys.
Was it the first time that I met you? Was that with Progress and Sweet and Low?
With Sweet and Low and Progress.
That was the first time that I seen you.
That was the first time. So
that was a good ass studio session.
Amazing session, bro. Because I've been only in the studio by myself, or with like a couple of my boys, but nobody else really.
I think I'm more productive by myself though, definitely. But that session had so many creative ideas. So
Young Benny, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I just
me and Benny are tight, but
dude,
I haven't seen him in a minute because
I just saw him. He just came up on here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was just on. And so I was talking to him about that. He's like, I mean, I'm the same way. My producer can come. If you're rapping on the song, you can come. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, like my family's not coming, my girl's not coming, my friends aren't coming. I'm bringing water. I'm not bringing drinks. I'm not bringing pizzas. I'm not smoking blunts. No disrespect to that. Just not my process. But anyway, we talked about that with Young Benny too, so I should put these clips together. But, so I was in there, I saw you and Turk and Progress and Sweet and Low and the guys, and I think
Lucy was there too.
Yeah, I think, yes, you're right. And, but it was your bars that I went, oh, I know your influences are like Joey and like, because those are my influences, because you reminded me of me and what I had been spitting. So I think that's interesting that you say now that you make pop too. Like I would never admit I make pop, but I don't make pop, so it's like it's not like you're saying I'm a rapper, but then you focus like a lot on these hooks that you're getting a lot better at, and you're making these kind of like almost pop hooks, but then you have like you have these rap verses, but they're not too bar heavy. They're still So I think I like more so
wow, I can't speak. I like more so telling a story than anything else, and then if the crazy punchlines come in with the story, then I'd rather do that than like rely too heavily on like a dope MC there's never any disrespect towards, that's like phenomenal at punchlines, but I just don't, I guess, listen to their music, is Harry Mack. Dopest freestyler on the planet.
Best probably on the planet.
But like, I don't know, like I've heard some crazy ass freestyles just from people that are not famous, and then people that are like up there, like Joey Badass, and even Meek Mill. Meek Mill can freestyle, but like not as good as Harry Mack. Even Kendrick Lamar can't freestyle like Harry Mack.
Did you see Joey and Harry Mack?
Of course.
What was that?
Joey
Cruise
Badass
show?
Was tough.
Was that Cruise show? I don't know. I don't remember. It might have been Cruise show.
No, I don't know, to be honest.
And he was like,
I thought it was Powerhouse.
Maybe it was probably Power.
Yeah.
One of those shows, man. But wow, straight up, man. Harry Mack's crazy. But I guess.
But he's bar heavy. He's very bar heavy.
That's all
like
he
his
does.
punchlines
I don't listen to his
crazy.
music. I don't listen to his songs. But the thing is, I just want to hear him rap about that guy's shirt and his pants, and then rap with the other girl's shirt.
Yeah. I think that what him and then another artist that we know, shout out Ethan Ross, dope artist. I think him, like, because Ethan can freestyle too. I think that's something that Harry Mack doesn't have, is that like his songs aren't as good as his freestyles, but Ethan, like his music is great as well. But him and Harry Mack both say their names so much in their freestyles. No disrespect, like they're both dope freestylers, but it's just funny. It's like their signature thing. They both say it.
Yeah. I think that
it's like filler.
If you're gonna, it's filler, but okay, so it's filler, but it's also strategy because it's clipping.
you have to give your brain time to think.
But the thing is,
like,
listen,
you can't
dude,
be freestyling like that straight.
I probably won't say Sully Bop one more time in this podcast other than right there. Like I probably won't, because I'm not thinking about that. But I will ask you how to sell shoes online, right? So that's a clip. So it's like there's a strategy behind it. But I guess what I wanted to say is that I've seen you change. Like I've seen your come up from. You were only the bars guy. Like you were spitting straight bars, and they were good.
I love them. Yeah, I love spitting bars.
And you on stage spitting the bars was like Simon's in his fucking zone right now, dude. Like Simon's in his zone.
I think by far the best, the song that I like performing the best was "Fuck You," just because of like the crowd reaction and like such a I don't know. It's emotional too, because like the storyline with the song is just so. It's just about my personal shit, and then coming together on the chorus, like basically telling people, if you ever had somebody in your life like this, like tell them fuck you.
The
just
whole
everybody,
crowd
the whole
with middle,
fuck you. Everybody was saying it.
Up,
yeah,
bro.
I love that shit. But yeah, I love that shit, and I like making music like that, but I'm not. That's not what I want to be known for. So yeah, I mean, I like making music like that. I really do, but I think I have other skills as well that I can utilize just as well, if not better than just rapping bars.
What made you did you say to yourself, I want to make some pop music, or was it like a natural transition where you just had been writing differently and you didn't even like know it? Like, what was that? What made you want to kind of switch your sound, because you did a little bit.
I think that it was like a lack of fulfillment with some of the lyrics I was writing that are dope. Some are released, some are unreleased. It's not that I don't like the song, but it's just that I don't know. I realized that I have more to offer than just what I was doing, so I ended up just switching over.
So you like, the way that I would look at it is like, I know when you were writing bars, you were using emotion. Like, I know you was coming from somewhere.
Yeah, of course.
But there's something else where you can actually use, if you can use less words.
Yeah.
And use the words that you use more purposefully. Like every great chorus writer does.
Yeah.
That's a different world. That's a different talent.
Drake is a master of that. Saying the least, they're called quotables. Having lines that are just captionable, or like whatever it is, and people it sticks in their minds. It's always the simplest stuff. So
it really is, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always easier to overcomplicate. It's actually almost easier sometimes to write more bars,
Yeah,
than it is to
definitely.
write. Imagine it's so much easier to write more than to take away your bar, because you're like, oh, that one's great.
I know. I've had it so many times. More recently, I haven't been, I guess, involved as much as I should be. And that doesn't only go for my own music. It goes with, like, I don't know, sometimes I just won't listen to music during a car ride, which is like taboo for me. I always listen to music, like good music, my friends' music, like famous people. But recently, it's been a long time, maybe past like 6 months. There are more car rides that I'll do just like silent, and I'm fine with it. It's not like I'm like depressed and don't want to listen to music. It's like more so of like an inner peace kind of thing. So it's definitely been a slow transition, because at first it was like I was pissed, like why couldn't I write, or writer's block is crazy. But now it's more so just me focusing on other things that I would say are more important than my career right now, which is basically like family, faith, my relationship. Well, all right, my relationship is not more important than my career, obviously, but
I told my girl that too.
Yeah, I mean, that's obvious though.
Not a joke.
Even whether or not we're girlfriend or married, like it's you gotta be able to provide.
You can't do
and plus,
together unless you do you.
And plus, if you're going to be successful, you want to find somebody that has the same drive. And if both of you are successful, you're both going to have jobs. So I'd rather find somebody that, well, I'm with somebody right now that like has the same drive, and she's like doing all her shit. But yeah, we chill maybe 3 times a week, maybe just the weekend or something, because she's always busy during the week. She's got like 2 jobs and she's going to school. And I have my 9 to 5 basically. It's like 7 to 3, and then I have the rest of the day to do whatever I want. So, but more recently, I've been creating like summer playlists and listening to those. So, I'm getting back into it. But yeah, I didn't just leave like me writing the music scene. It was more so like for a long time I didn't check Instagram. It's not that I was ignoring anybody. It's just I didn't open the app. and like I turn notifications off so I don't even see like the red number in the corner for all my social media, and I kind of just wanted to focus inward so that I could project outward instead of like, being in a cycle like I was before. I don't know how to explain it.
It's
but
consumption. That's the thing. If you consume more than you create, then you're always at the liberty of whatever you're consuming. So that's really the thing. And I love that you said about the silent car rides, because this is something that I talked to my friend Nick. Shout out to Nick Amarim, and we had talked about this podcast with this guy named Naval Ravikant, and he's a very successful, investor, and he might be a billionaire, I don't know, but he has just these certain ways of explaining things about life that just makes so much sense. And one of them was just like, if you cannot be alone in your own head, then there's a problem. Like there's an issue. Like if there's many, like that's like one of those things where it's like health, well-being, diet, exercise, being able to talk to yourself, being able to understand that the voice in your head is not you. It's just the voice. So you have the voice, you have the conscious voice, then you have another voice. That will say, then you might have four of them. You might have a guy, because everybody has these people. You have an asshole voice. You have a person who's building you up. Like, no, you can do this shit. Yeah. You have your own voice where you go, all right, I'm trying to like, it's the devil on the shoulder, man, and the angel. So like, I love that you said that about driving, because like my radio in my car doesn't work. It works about half the time, and the other time it doesn't work. There's nothing I can do. And
damn, that sucks. You need a new radio.
Yeah,
ASAP.
so I know I'm about to pull it out, but the one beautiful thing about it is, it makes me just silence, man, just sit there and think. And I meditate every day, so I kind of do it a little bit as That's good. Is, but I've been doing that for a while. That's been in my routine for a while. But what I also do is I leave my phone right here on this desk, and I get in my car and I drive to a trail, and I just walk around the trail for like an hour.
That's awesome.
Hey man, if I fall and I like mess my ankle up, then
talk about serenity. It
is
That's
what
dope.
it is. But
you're getting away. I'm doing that tomorrow with my boy. We're going on a hike in New York.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's dope, man. So you said, you're trying to find balance. Is kind of what I got.
Really
from what
quick,
you were saying.
what I wanted to say before, just really quick.
No, add it in, man. All you.
I always tell my homies, if I can sit in the car alone with you and drive, or just whatever, park up somewhere, and like, we don't even need to both be on the phone, just like enjoying our time but not talking at all, just like completely silent. Doesn't need to be for like hours, it could be for like 5 minutes or whatever, even like 2 minutes. You notice the time goes by so much slower when everything is just silent and quiet and you're just thinking. And I think that you're a real homie if I can do that with you and not be like really awkward or tense, or me feel anxious that I need to like produce some sort of idea to like keep us occupied and So
you ever notice with
nice.
your OG friends? You ever notice when you get around your like best friends, when you guys are all sitting
act
down,
different.
Nobody's on their phone.
Everybody's
y'all talking about that thing 3 years ago, or like yo, you're doing that now, or whatever. Like that's the shit. Those make that every moment. Like why, and it's hard, man. For me, like this is something like my girl had to realize too, and like shout out to Vicky, I love you, but like she had to realize that she was like, oh, she thought I was maybe like addicted to my phone, I guess, but like my whole life is on my phone. It's like, it's not that I'm on my phone to watch other people's shit. It's actually like I create a ton of shit. And I have to do it. I do it on my phone or this computer. So it's like I'm staring at a screen. So we had to kind of come up with like a thing where it was like, okay, during this time, we're not going to, neither of us, and she's not even close to as bad as I am. But I create a ton of content. Like if you look at my pages, like it's out there. I'm putting stuff out. That's all I'm doing.
It's consistent.
I'm not.
That's the best part.
I try to make it consistent. I that's what I do, because when I go on my phone, if I go on Instagram for more than like a minute, I go to my Google Drive and I start making podcast clips, because I just need to. I don't care if I make the clip, if I finish it or I send it to the person or not. It's just the act of I need to create. Instead, I need to listen. It's better if I listen to myself than if I listen to somebody else, because you can get really, really, really really caught up in that, and
Yeah.
it's gotten bad, man. I mean, like, if you look, I mean, dude, screen time. Remember we were talking about that when we were sitting in Hoboken? Like, yo, we were both bad, you know? And it's like,
like 9 hours.
like 9 hours, man. Shit is crazy.
This shit was wild.
You know, I think that, you know, kind of what you were getting at is like, you can turn anything off at any time just to find that balance and bring it back.
Yeah.
But for you, so like, this is the thing that like, I think everybody has their certain, has their viewpoint on faith. And I think that I'm glad that you brought it up. I'm glad that you mentioned it, but I'd like to talk about it and how it relates to you and what that means in your life, because the people in my life, everybody kind of sees it differently. My girlfriend has one view of it that I'm not even close to her view. Her view's not close to mine. My parents have a different view. My grandfather has a different view. Everybody you talk to is going to have a different view. So
that's interesting that you surround yourself with people with different ideas. That's a good thing.
Naturally, almost. It just, not that I even purposely did that, but this podcast is purposeful. That's why I have this, so I can have people on who have not just a different opinion, that just have an opinion, and then, hey, let's talk it through, because people will see what you say and they'll assume that you're a certain way, but they won't actually try to break it down to understand it. Right. So that's what I try to do. But so what role has faith played in your life, or does it play now? Like, what role?
So I grew up Roman Catholic. Went to college just like everybody, went off, did my own thing, tried to figure out. I went to Fairleigh Dickinson in Madison, and then FDU. FDU, and then my last year I went to FDU in Teaneck, which is basically the same thing, just different campus. What was the question? Oh, the role that faith plays in my life. So I grew up Roman Catholic, and then when I went to college, I had to figure out whether or not I was Roman Catholic because I was raised that way, or if that's truly like my beliefs, if I align with that. And then I went through a phase where I didn't really go to church, but I still felt that I was spiritual, like I still believed in God all the way. But I'm just not sure. I wasn't sure if I believed in all the extra shit that's in every religion. So I came to a conclusion that, I don't know is definite. Nobody knows if it's definite, because that's literally the definition of faith, is to believe like without seeing. So basically, wow, I forgot where I was going with that.
Oh, you're good, man. So you're saying that you believed, you knew that there was something greater than us.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm back on it. So I didn't really know like what religion to align myself with. So I'm really thinking down one day, like I really don't think that I am lucky enough to be born into the only right religion and all the other religions are wrong. So in my opinion, I believe that all the religions are worshiping the same God. We just have different interpretations of it. So, anybody you could agree with that or you could not. I don't care. But, it's that's what I believe, because I don't think that it's just that coincidental that everybody else is wrong and the only right way to like do this is that, and like it's just. And then, in this religion there's like 4 gods, and then in this religion it's like, Zeus and like all this shit, and then other monotheism, which is basically Judaism, Christianity, Islam. That's all just one God. I believe they're all the same person or same being, same whatever spiritual entity, whatever you want to call God, but just like different people, different parts of the world, different cultures, different way of interpretations, and different formations.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That's kind of, I don't know where. I know something's up. It's just, is it part of our human experience? Is it the fact that we're human and we have to have this extraneous entity, whatever?
It's because we're sentient?
That's what I'm saying. It's a possibility. I'm not saying that's what I think.
Yeah.
I just think that it's a possibility, and it is kind of crazy when I came to the same conclusion. I came to a conclusion when I was in 7th grade, actually, because I was brought up Catholic, and I had to go to CCD, and I just said, I'm not doing this anymore. I just don't. I'm not getting anything out of this, and luckily some reason my parents didn't make me do it anymore. So not the case for a lot of people. So I was lucky in that respect. Then I went to high school and learned about atheism. So when you are in a religion and then you learn about atheism, you become, a lot of people, not everybody, but you kind of become atheist because you feel like you've been wronged. You feel like people have been lying to you, which is not the case. They've been telling you their truth. They're not lying to you.
Yeah.
So, but when you're like 14 or 15, that's what you think, because you haven't grown up. And then you grow up a little bit and you go, oh, they're not, like, that's what they think. Like, they're not lying to me. So, yeah, so I came to that the same conclusion that you came to, and I think it's I always like to, I will still, we've all used the expression, thank God, or all these things. It's like it's ingrained in our culture. So so there's, it's not like I don't say that. It's just the fact that
people say other shit, like holy shit.
Yeah,
or like goddamn, like there's
naturally. And I came to the same thing where it's like, first of all, you think that you have it figured out. Like, first of all, like, just because your book is old, there's books older than your book. So what about those? So that's when I went into the same line of thinking that you were, where it's like, we can't all have it right.
Yeah.
And just because I was born to you guys who thought this doesn't mean that you have it right.
Yeah.
So
we can all be wrong.
Could all be wrong.
Something that I always believed, even when I was like a little bit younger, is that religion is perfect, but people are not. So like basically the church is not, in Roman Catholicism.
Put it together.
Right. And there was that whole thing with the priests, which is like a huge ongoing scandal that we don't even need to get into that. And
but it's real.
Yeah. And there are, I'm going to just call them radicals, because there's radicals in every religion that do shit that nobody else does in that religion. And then they call themselves religious, but everybody knows that that's like, if they practice that religion, everybody knows that people don't do that. You know what I mean? And like, if you do that, you're obviously not Islamic or Catholic or Jewish or, whatever the case may be.
There's radicals also just in light. Like, they're just radicals who are radicals. They're not, there's radical Islam, there's radical Christianity, there's probably not a lot of radical Buddhism, but it might happen. Yeah. But there's radical in general.
Oh yeah.
So there's going to be, so
extremes,
that's just, exactly. Yeah. There's always going to be people who, and like whatever they use to justify it, it doesn't mean,
but they're not proper representations of that religion.
Of the whole at all.
Yeah, they're a good representation of themselves.
Yes.
But like not, I do believe that religion is a thing. I do believe that there's a God. I'm not sure.
See, I'm not sure I even go that far. That's the thing. I think that's where,
I will say that I don't think that we believe in God because we're sentient or because like we feel the need to thank something for our ways of life, but like I don't think it's like that, because there are things that happen in this world that are just like unexplainable. Miracles in, the medical field, in hospitals, of people just like miraculously the next day, like not having whatever was in their body that was like malignant and killing them, and they're about to die. It's like terminal. And then like the next day they're like, it's like not on the x-rays or MRIs, and you're like, what just happened? Or
they say like, I prayed, or like God came down to me, said this or whatever, and then it actually happened. Yeah. What I say to that is, nothing has to make sense to us. Nothing in this world is under any obligation to make sense to us.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
At the same time, yes, there's unexplainable things, but just because we can't explain it doesn't mean it can't be explained. It just means we can't explain it. When they saw like, whatever it might be, any type of natural phenomenon where they go, oh my God, that's the gods, because that must be, because we don't understand how lightning and thunder works. So it's just, there's that
it's
side of it
basically
too,
like the talk about the dimensions. Like, we're in the third dimension, but we create art and other stuff like paintings that's two-dimensional. And anybody in a two-dimensional world would not be able to like comprehend a three-dimensional world. So I do believe that there are forces among us that might be living in a four-dimensional world, and like, so basically they say the fourth dimension is time, right? But this is going out there, but I believe that, everything in general is bigger than just, what's on Earth and what we can see and feel and touch and all that stuff.
It's
so
quantum too. We'll get into that.
Yeah, so, if there can be two-dimensional beings and, one-dimensional items, there's no limit to how many possible, because when you're in one dimension, you can't fathom the next. So it's technically impossible. But if three-dimensional works and there's two-dimensional things that exist in a three-dimensional world, then there can be three-dimensional things that exist in a four-dimensional world. So
it's the ant analogy.
I'm interested in that, yeah.
It's the ant analogy, because the ants will never be able to see the ceiling.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know, to an ant, this ceiling...
Yeah, oh, they don't have vision like that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They're only there, so they'll never be... They will see they can see our feet, and they can recognize that, but, like, above a certain point, there's nothing there. It's not anything anymore.
So even when they crawl on you, like, they don't know. Like, if you just hold them out, like, they don't know where the hell they're going. Your finger is like 30 ants.
And listen, ants are smart as fuck, man.
They are.
Ants are on some other shit. But I'm just, that's like, but it's true. And if you do things like DMT or ayahuasca and, these other drugs that, these crazy drugs that people have done, which I have not even had the chance to do, but they do say that you do get to communicate with people from that other dimension. And, like, listen, shit happens all the time to me where I go, that's weird. I think that's an alien. Like, I've thought I've seen UFOs, things like that. I think I see spirits, all that stuff. But in my mind, I try to rationalize it, and I go, that's just like a light that's reflecting off a shadow or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not real. So, but I have instances.
You've done DMT, or
no? I have not.
Oh, okay,
no, I have
okay.
not. No.
DMT is the chemical that your brain releases when you're dying.
Dimethyltryptamine, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to go down to
the light flashes before your eyes. Shit, that's
DMT.
DMT.
I've seen the white light. Like, I've been in the room. I blacked out and been in a room with white light. And I've been not here, but I've been able to feel. But I was in my vision. My eyes were open and I was in the white.
Yeah.
And I walked out of the white back into reality. I've seen that white light. I've been there before.
Yeah.
That's what when they talk about the white light, that's only like one level of it as far as I see. And I'm not saying I didn't die. Like, I don't think my heart stopped. I don't think I maybe could have, I guess. But but I was in the white room. Like,
I'll definitely say that I don't believe that we can that it's a world that we can access.
Like, I think I was just in my head,
Well, I mean, that belief is completely valid. Like, there's nothing in that belief that I'm, like, angry about that you believe that way. You know what I'm saying?
But
it's
when
just
people say
belief.
that God came down and then he was... It's like, yo, yeah, I guess, maybe.
Look, it could also possibly just be aliens. Because when you talk about light years, you could have a civilization that is able to travel here, but we're not able to...
Dude, do you want to go into this? Because I'm down.
Because if you not really, but
down.
if you go, because it'll be a whole tangent. But if you go a certain distance away, when you come back, it'll be years later, even though it might just be months for you, depending on how fast you're traveling.
Well, now you're talking about.
I'm talking about light years.
Talking about space, which is a whole nother thing because there's no gravity, and then everything is.
Time is relative.
Yeah.
So time moves slower for people here than other people, than other planets, than. And I mean, it's like a fraction, when it's in our solar system, but you go outside of our solar system and years will pass, like decades will pass. And for you, it'll be like 2 years.
People think astral projection is a real thing. I mean, people think they can summon aliens because they meditate. Dude, I'm saying this is a rabbit hole, son. We gonna go down if we gonna go down, son. Don't let me go. But dude, don't let me go down that because it will go. And I'll go, and I won't. It'll take me a while to come back, and you don't want to do that. But hey, man, that's crazy. But yeah, man, I always like to see what other people's. I had like a 2.5 hour conversation about God with my girlfriend, and she sees it completely differently. She explains to me the things that God has done in her life, and the things that He's done for her, and that she knows that He's done. And who am I to deny it? Like, I can't. That's true. Like, I don't look at that and say that's not true
Yeah.
Because that's true. Like, she's telling me it's true. She's not lying to me. It's true. If you're somebody where, like myself, where I have not ascribed anything that anybody has done, that I have not, there's nothing in my life that I've went, God did that. Because there's nothing in my life that he did.
Yeah.
But if you are somebody where there's something in your life that he did, then who am I to say he didn't? Because he did do that for you.
Yeah.
He didn't do it for me, but he did it for you. So, and is it me just not saying that he did it or didn't do it?
I think maybe you don't recognize it. Because, so with Catholicism, they believe in free will. And God doesn't, like, make you do anything. He might, like, coax you to do something, just like the devil might tempt you to do something. But there will always be those forces out there that he'll project that, maybe just a thought in your head to maybe act a certain way or be kind or, whatever the fuck, like
I would just say that's a thought in my head. Like, I just wouldn't say that's God. I just say that's another thought, because I have tens of thousands of thoughts every day, and that's just another thought. But I think also things really aren't as black and white as good and evil most of the time.
Yeah. So let me just say this. It was a comic that I saw that put things into perspective that was really interesting. So this guy is on a boat out in the ocean. The boat sinks, and he's in the water, and he's saying, God, help me, please save me. So a helicopter comes by and was like, oh my God, like, let me save you, like, get in this helicopter. And he's like, no, I'm good, I'm waiting for God to save me. And then it's like a dude in a jet ski comes by, and he's like about to drown, and the guy's like, just grab my hand. And he's like, no, I'm good, like, God is gonna save me. And then this motherfucker dies. He drowns. He gets to heaven. He goes, God, why didn't you save me? He goes, I did. I sent the people in the helicopter your way, and I sent the dude in the jet ski your way. Why didn't you take their hands? So it's not that, like, God actually comes down and, like, does some shit for you. It's just that you ask for something subconsciously or consciously, like through prayer, or subconsciously through, your motives and your actions. And he sends people in your direction that you can either interact with if you're open to that, not open to him and faith, just open to that situation. Like, if you subconsciously want to do podcasts and you're continually doing podcasts, you could be in a room with Asher Roth, but you also could have not have been at the same time.
Yeah. And
if you didn't try as hard as you do, you wouldn't be there. But at the same time, you don't know, and you could chalk it up however you want, but at least the way that I look at it is that there are things that you control in your own destiny and everything like that. God doesn't force you to do anything, and you could either, abide by what his plans for you are, or you could do some totally off the wall shit and just, like, live your own life. Doesn't mean that you're sinning all the time. I'm just saying, like, you're just living. Like, God could want you to be a priest. I don't know. But
and there's
if you're just not a priest, but you're really religious, and you don't even need to be really religious. It's just an example. Like,
my dad asked the priest. He's like, listen, my son doesn't believe in God. Like, what should I tell him?
Yeah.
And the priest said, well, yeah, I didn't believe in God till I was 35, and then I became a priest at 40.
Yeah.
So that just tells you right there.
Yeah, my mom.
I'm not ruling it out.
Yeah.
It ain't work. It's not. It has no portion in my life right now. But I'm not ruling it out because I'm a pretty open-minded person.
Yeah.
So I like to think that I am, and I think I have to do these things. I really have to, because there's no other way. Like, I would get mad at people if I was not open-minded. Like, I wouldn't be able to have these conversations, really.
Of course. Oh, of course.
So that's why, like, if something in my life pointed me to it, I go, dude, it's undeniable.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way.
Yeah.
Then I'd believe it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the agnosticism type of
thing.
It's
almost like you see what you want to see type thing.
Yeah, you see what you want to see.
Like, if you're always thinking like, every single time I drive down this road, it's a red light. Even when it's green, you won't even tally it in your mind. You'll only tally it when it's red, and then you go to your friends and you're like, see, every single time I come down this road, it's a red fucking light. Every single time. I mean, I've thought that before. I have a road that I go to work. I never hit the green in my mind, because I'm always thinking, like, I'm not going to hit this green. So whatever happens when I don't hit the green, I'm like, it's every time. But it's not, because sometimes I do get the green. would I say that I get the red more often? Definitely. But I'm just saying, like, you see what you want to see. So, if you want to see happiness in something, you'll see happiness in something. But if you want to see that God helped you to a certain point or gave you the tools necessary to be where you want to be, then you could think that way. And if you think that it's just all been you, and then you could think that way too. I don't think that you need to be religious or even spiritual to get into heaven or, whatever. I put air quotes on that just because I don't know what's there. I don't know what happens after you die.
Me either.
But, I want to believe that people that are good, regardless of whether or not they're religious, go to a certain place, or maybe we transcend into that fourth dimension. Really quick topic I'm a just say is that there are certain monks, Buddhist monks, that there's certain rules to it. You pledge like 40 years of it's like the minimum is like 40 years of no bad thoughts about anybody for 40 years or anything, just no negative thoughts. So like when they're meditating and everything, at a certain point they're getting so old that their body just shrivels up, but they die, but like their body doesn't biodegrade, it doesn't like decay, it just, their hair still grows, their nails still grow, but they're like this small.
They don't need the body, dude, because their
it's
mind,
called transcendence into light.
This body is just a transportation vessel.
It's one of the only miracles that the Vatican recognizes outside of like
There's
Christianity.
holes in that though, because we don't know what these guys are thinking. So
that's wild though. How do you explain that? My fault. You can't explain that,
I think but you also like don't know what this guy's thinking. Like he definitely thought like, fuck this guy, he's not meditating as hard as me. Like he could have thought that and we would have never known.
You're right, but whatever.
There's holes in that.
Nah, I mean it's not so.
No, I think it's great. Listen, I've studied.
It's not
I've gone into Buddhism. I've gotten into it. I've gone into there's.
It's releasing yourself
think
from
Like a Monk is a great
things.
book.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who Jay Shetty is, but Think Like a Monk is a great book by Jay Shetty. He lived with monks. He's an Indian guy, British Indian man, and he was getting into he was around some bad people, and he was getting into some bad things, and something made him, I don't remember the whole story, but it made him want to not turn his life around, but kind of open his eyes to life a little bit more. And he ended up living with monks, and he didn't know anything about this before. And he goes through like a lot of the things that they did and how he applies it to his life now, and really how it changed his life, and then how he built his life with it, and the principles that they abide by. But so I'm completely like this is the thing. Enlightenment is the topic. I mean, that's what these people are saying that they're achieving, and that's one thing where it's almost similar to religion in that, or to God in that way, where it's like you don't know if they're there or not. You don't know if somebody's talking to God or not for real. You don't know if they're enlightened or not for real, because you'd never be able to. Nobody would ever really be able to tell. And
it's a personal experience.
Personal experience, and other meditators too will tell you, I've been meditating for 20 years. I've been meditating for 40 years. I've spent my whole life doing it, and wouldn't be able to tell you how much farther, and not as far as I am as the guy next to me. I think that for me, like I'm way more on the meditation, Buddhist and monk side than I am on any other religious side, only because that's the practice that I follow. Like I don't pray ever. I only meditate every day. Not maybe 6 days a week, mostly 7.
Yeah, I was going to say before, if you don't pray, then there's usually nothing in your brain to tell you that, like, I asked God for this and then I got it, if you're not praying. But that's why I said, like, people don't need religion to...
Now we're getting into manifestation, which I also like to talk about.
Yeah.
But I like to say that this is another topic. I said it before on the other podcast about money. You can actually manifest money, but some people don't believe it. Some people do. I think it's possible. I think, and then somebody replied to it.
I don't think it's possible just to say.
No. But shout out to Justin, because he replied to it and he goes, listen, yes, but you have to do the work. So it's both. Yeah, but I think it makes it easier to do the work if you do.
Of course.
Try to manifest it at the same time.
Yeah, of course, dude. I don't think there's only one form of manifestation, and that's verbal, where you just say it and you just get it. It's not like that. Even with praying, it's not like that. You can't just pray and then it's like, God, please help me never to use your name in vain again, and then just stub your toe and be like, holy shit. You can't, you gotta try. And
I think it really all comes down to you too.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it comes down to what are you.
He'll help you, but you gotta want it. And then at that point, you gotta just at that point you can't do it because you're hoping that at a certain point God will just push you or take the wheel. You gotta do it because you want to do it. That those are your goals, and then He'll help you any way, shape, or form.
If you help yourself,
He can. If you help yourself, exactly.
I will say this to end this portion of this segment. Of this conversation, and I love this, dude. This is great.
Wait, I really just say really quick? The reason why I mentioned that monk stuff is because I'm not sure how the transportation goes into heaven, if it's physical or if it's some other spiritual, your soul. Soul. That's the other thing. A soul can't be quantified. There's no way to look on a scale or look in an x-ray and see somebody's soul. So that's a whole nother topic. But basically, I'm not sure about the transportation method into a heaven place, but it could even be the fourth dimension. That could be just, to us, we can't comprehend it when we're in this state, in this body, but we could possibly be beings that can transcend that barrier, and go to heaven. That's what we call it, but it's something completely different.
We could have that right now.
Yeah,
that's what they say the fourth eye is, or the third eye. Sorry, that's what
the fourth eye. I was about to say there's some other shit now.
Yeah, dude. There's one in the back and then one down.
Yeah.
No, but that's what they say the third eye is too. It's your. Sometimes they say that's your connection to that.
Yeah.
And we were there. We already have a footing there, but we'll just in this consciousness we'll never get there unless we transcend.
Yeah.
I could really go farther. But I have somebody who I work for, and they are a job networking show. Okay, they help people get jobs, and I've mentioned this before, but they are a faith-based show. Okay, they pray every show. They talk about God a lot. They talk about faith a lot, and they've had non-faith-based people on the show, and they've had a lot of faith-based people. But I've edited 180 episodes of their show.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a lot of footage, though.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot of audio. It's a lot of listening. I listen to everything, and it's been super rewarding. And they're my best client. Not my best client, but I don't really have a best client, but I love them.
That's awesome.
And I love Trevor and the whole show. And but for me, it's been eye opening, really, for me to get back to really learn. Dude, it's principles, man.
Yeah.
It's really what they're saying, not all of it's true. It's just it doesn't matter if they're framing it as God or whatever. It doesn't matter, because what they're saying will help you. Because they're also telling you to do what you have to do too. Yeah. And I love that combination, and I just
that's the only combination.
It's the only combination.
True, manifestation. Yeah.
Exactly. And that so many aspects of these religions there's so much good. There's so much things that you can apply to your own life, and it actually makes sense. Yeah. And principles that there's other things like don't eat shellfish, where you're fucking shrimp are good, dude. Yeah. So that shit doesn't make sense. So, but there's so many.
Well, you have to
it's age old. It's age old for a reason.
You have to modernize the
the
book. You can't just take it as face value, because at that point then you get a whole bunch of crazy shit in every religion, and you're like, what the hell? I'm not a barbarian. Yeah. So everybody has their I guess threshold of what they consider enough religiousness or enough spirituality to faith to be a good person or whatever. I don't think that you need religion at all to be a good person. And possibly go to heaven, you know.
You have to be a good person.
I think an atheist could possibly go to heaven, you know. I think that it's easier to have that sense of morality with religion, but just as long as you don't take it to an extreme and take it at face value and that's where the prejudices start and all those other shit that's not religious.
Blind faith is not faith.
Yeah, and also without interpretation, you know, like lack
or
of
context.
Yeah. I mean, but
application.
Yeah, true. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that you have to understand and you have to process correctly for you to be able to properly, you know, put it into your life and it actually be effective.
Well, if you don't apply it, it's pointless too.
Yeah. For a lot of people, they could interpret it a completely different way and end up doing more damage than good and end up, if there is a list or a totem pole into heaven, end up being at the bottom of a totem pole, whereas an atheist that doesn't believe there's a God at all could be higher on the totem pole just simply because they're a good person, their intentions are good, and the only person besides them that will ever know that is whatever being there is up there, you know, in my perspective. In their perspective, they don't even think there's a being up there, but that's even better. Because they're not doing the good actions or good deeds because they think that they're going to get redemption for something. They're doing it because that's who they are as people. So I don't think that I'm going to say it again, I don't think you need religion to like get into heaven or whatever. So I think for me and my beliefs, that's the best part, is not being forced to do anything that I feel is like a ridiculous rule or like, you know, something like that. So whatever.
And I don't think you know until you go, so.
That's another thing.
That's what I'd say.
We're going to end it there.
We're going to end it there. But, and dude, man, there's something I want to talk about on this podcast before we go, man. And to completely, wildly switch gears.
Go ahead.
So I went into your house.
That sounds creepy as fuck.
I was in your house.
Went into your house like 3 days ago.
You weren't there. Nobody was there. It was just me. It was great. I went right in. I let myself in. So you were very gracious. You allowed me to take a nap in your basement. It was great.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But anyway, I was in your room and we were like looking at these. I had no choice but to look at all these shoes.
Yeah.
And you had like taken like this shoe or that shoe. You're like, oh, I have this one or that one. Like, so I know a couple people who are like real shoe heads, and it's not me at all. But I'm more of like a car person. Everybody's got their thing. Yeah,
and of course. I love cars. I just don't know enough about them. Mm-hmm. So I like going fast though. Yeah, that's the important part.
You got a very nice car, by the way.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. We'll get into that later. Yeah, we'll get into that. The shoes, the sneakers.
Yeah. How did this start? Did this start when you were young or like?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. Very modest, very humble, like buyer, shopper when I was growing up. Yeah. Like my parents like got me what I needed, but in no way, shape, or form were we shopping at anywhere besides like Macy's or JCPenney.
Same.
Like,
some Kohl's maybe.
Yeah. Kohl's even was like just a little bit expensive.
Every
you
once
needed
in a
like
while,
the coupons. Yeah. So like there was no Neiman Marcus and like Nordstrom Rack.
You waited for that gift card from your aunt at Christmas type.
And
of
also
shit.
all my shoes were like $20 until my feet stopped growing, and then at that point my mom was like, "Okay, you can buy yourself nice shoes." So, I was never really a sneakerhead until I would say maybe like I don't even know, like 2 years ago. At this point, I really started getting into sneakers when I transferred jobs, like into different industry, just because serving is great and everything, and you get the money right there, and you claim whatever tips you want. Look, do the thing that's illegal, but I'm saying do the thing that's legal. Like, don't underclaim your tips. But I'm saying people do it,
Pay taxes.
Pay taxes.
The government.
Exactly. I pay all my taxes.
Me too. No, 100%.
Yeah. But yeah, so when I switched into like engineering and commercial construction and surveying and all that junk, I got a little bit of a pay increase, so I started realizing that all these sneakers that I've been looking at that I've wanted for so long, I can like actually kind of afford now, where I can like save up and cop a shoe. So what I've been doing is I've just been buying them, but then recently I've been getting into like reselling. So I'll cop a pair of shoes for like, I don't know, 180 and sell them for like 360, or like that's on a good day. You know, sometimes you make $100 profit or whatever. I just do them so that I could hold the shoe, look at it, you know, imagine wearing it, maybe try it on once, and then just sell it. Like, I'm fine with that too, you know.
How do you find them though?
There's apps.
Okay.
There's apps for it. There's one everybody knows called StockX. And then
I
there's,
even know that one.
Yeah, and then there's GOAT. That one is less known, but it's actually more reliable in my opinion. Yeah.
How many pairs have you bought from these sites, do you think?
Oh, jeez. I could check. I'm not going to check. I'd say on average, in total, I think maybe 5 or 6 pairs of shoes online. No, maybe less, maybe 4 or 5.
So you kind of has to be strategic with it.
Yeah, I bought 1 pair of shoes on StockX, and I never again will buy shoes from them. They took like 3 weeks. The place was like 10 minutes from my house, but because of COVID, I couldn't pick it up. And yeah, it took 3 weeks to get to my house from 10 minutes away from my house. And I'm like, dude, what the hell's going on? Worst delivery service I've ever experienced. Couldn't call them, couldn't go in. There was no tracking number. And then like it wouldn't update. So it would be like last month would be the last update on the tracking. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, yeah, it was wild. It took like 3.5 weeks for the shoes to get to me. And I'm like, dude, and these were like nice sneakers. They were the Yeezy 700s. They're beautiful. I was going to wear them today, but I decided not to.
All right, let's pull that up. Can we pull that up? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're called Yeezy 700s.
Tread, do you know how
they're the green ones.
Happy that just made me? And it doesn't have to take your time. That made me really happy. Sorry. This podcast
ones.
Is 3 years old and by the way, we're going to put Tread's face on this one day. He's going to let me. We're going to see.
You should animate his face, like cartoonize it, and make that the logo.
Okay. The guy who does Joe Rogan's one. All right. Yeah, bet. Look at this.
Yep, that's it right in the middle. That's actually the best picture. I think that looks
ugly as fuck.
Yeah, you know, I thought so too when I saw the picture of it, but when you see it on feet, I just can't help but like I feel like all of Kanye's shoes are like that. They're like wide and bulky, but yeah, I don't know, they're just beautiful in my opinion. The first time that I actually felt like they were beautiful though was when I saw they're called Yeezy 350 V2s.
All right, let's get those two.
Get those two. They're black and red. Those are the shoes that I wanted for so long and could never afford.
Those are dope. Yeah. I like these. Yeah. They look like Nikes kind of.
Yeah, I really like these.
That's how much I know about shoes, bro.
The ones that I wanted were all black.
I would wear
and those. They had in red lettering on the side, like I don't know what it says. SPLY 350. I don't know what the SPLY is. Those are my favorite shoes of all time that Kanye has ever made. And like they're so simple. I don't know, I just love them. Dude, when I bought them, I got them finally. I've been idolizing these shoes for like 3 years. I got them I think last month. And it took me so long to get them because Yeezy for some reason their sizes are all messed up. In these shoes I'm a size 12, but I have those green ones that we just saw, and then I also have some 380s, and in both of those sizes I'm a size 13. Never in my life have I ever been size 13 in any type of shoe. So like besides, I don't know, like no, for boots it's actually they run big. So I'm a size 11 in boots. I've been 13 in anything. So I had to I ordered these. This would be my third pair of Yeezys. I ordered these in a 13 because I figured the other two were in 13. This one might be in 13. I ordered it. It was too big. Returned it. Ordered 12 and a half. It was still too big. I'm like, dog, just give me my damn shoe. So on the third time, I ordered the 12 and they fit. But let me just run it back really quick. I didn't own any pair of Yeezys until recently. I found somebody that his friend works for Yeezy. and he gets shoes for mad cheap. So he actually just hooks the kid that I met up, and then he hooks me up. So those pairs of shoes, the black and red ones, I think online the cheapest that you can find them for is like $450, but I got them for $300. So that's a steal, regardless if you're gonna wear them or sell them.
Did you just keep them, or did you sell
them?
Yeah,
of course. They're my favorite pair of shoes. I've always wanted them. But there are a couple pairs of shoes that I have in my arsenal that I'm in the process of selling used. And on this website, you do everything. So, they obviously keep some of the profit. GOAT is a bigger percentage, even though they're less known than StockX, just because GOAT is just better. They use regular delivery service like UPS. It takes like 4 days, and they take care of you or whatever.
StockX just has like a ton of hype, I guess, and it's
just, but definitely a ton of hype, and like fake shit goes through StockX too. It's hard, but people get away with it more so than GOAT, so it's pretty dope.
If you want to make money selling shoes, is that possible, or do you have to really be in it?
Well, I mean, look, selling shoes is like stocks. And if you're going to devote your life to like doing something like selling stocks, I would just sell stocks instead of selling shoes.
I'm having the stock.
It's not really that much profit, like at all.
Yeah.
Unless somehow, some way, you're getting $30,000 shoes for retail price, which is like $200, which is like absolutely nobody. I mean, like maybe one guy or 4 guys across the country.
Well, how would that even happen in the first place? That's the thing. It doesn't even exist.
You have connections.
Yeah, true.
You have connections. Because every shoe, no matter how rare, comes out with a certain amount of shoes.
That's the difference between stocks,
when they drop.
Stocks and shoes. Because stocks, everybody's playing the same game.
Yeah.
Shoes, if you have a guy, you can get in there. It's like, that's like anything.
Or if you're the guy.
Or like, no, it's like getting tickets to like a Lakers game. If you have a guy, you're gonna get the nice tickets. If you don't, you're gonna pay a ton of money and be on the 45th row or whatever.
Yeah, so I found this guy, and it's like a friend of a friend, and I got their number recently, and I just got my 4th pair of shoes from this guy. He moved from Yeezy to Kicks USA, which is just another organization that sells shoes. So now he has access to Jordans.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I just copped these Jordan 1s. They're called the Hyper Royal. They're like blue. They're like mint blue.
Let's see how ugly these are.
They look very similar to these. Same exact style.
Okay, there's dope. Those are dope.
Yeah.
I love Jordans.
Not those. It's like the one that's like kind of like suede.
Suede.
Yeah. Those I just got today. Oh my god, they're even more beautiful than the pictures.
Today?
And then do you see these in the corner, the green ones? Those are the ones I have on right now. They're very similar.
Damn, son.
Yeah, I love these. These are the first pair of shoes that were expensive that I ever copped.
I gotta say, how much are those?
When I bought them, they were $300, but now you look online, they're $650, and I'm like, holy shit.
You wish you would have kept those in a box.
Yeah, but at the same time, I love them so much.
Dude, the thing with now, Jordans are the only company, the only shoes. Jordan. Whether you want to say Jordan, the person Jordan, the company Jordan, the shoes, however you want to package it, is the only one who's done this. Every single generation. Every other player's shoes, none of them. Now, what are other players' shoes who are good? Does Steph?
LeBron.
Yeah, well, I don't even know about that. So that's what
you
I'm
don't know about LeBron. So LeBron definitely has a successful shoe company.
Bro, I do podcasts. I don't know what's happening.
LeBron has some shoes. Curry has shoes. Kyrie has shoes.
Are any of them ugly, or are they all pretty nice looking?
No, they're all pretty nice looking. They're all tailored towards different play styles. Like,
what do you think their process is in these shoes, though? Are they like saying?
So I feel like nobody has ever balled in Jordans. Nobody has ever actually played basketball in Jordans. Like, besides, Michael Jordan. Like the original Concords or like some shit like that.
Yeah,
he
but they're
played
almost
in those.
to play on Converse a little, on high tops,
You've never seen anybody in the NBA play with ones because they are the most uncomfortable shoe when it comes to actually utilizing them. They're for streetwear. That's all they're for. Same thing with Yeezys. They're not like for any specific sport function or athletic function. But I will say this, is that Yeezy is definitely the most comfortable sneaker I've ever worn ever in my life.
What about Nikes? Do you think they're comfortable?
Yeah, but not more comfortable than Yeezys.
So
I'm telling you, bro,
Yeezys
it's like
actually are comfortable.
The most comfortable Yeezys that I have are these. They're called Yeezy 380s, and they're it's like pepper. It's called pepper or some shit. And they're like gray and brown on the side. They have like a fat sole, and they actually look really ugly in pictures.
Okay.
But these
from the top
shoes,
down, if you're looking
from
at
the
them,
top down, they're beautiful. If you could find a shot like on somebody's feet, it would probably be easier just to type in the shoe and then on feet. It comes up every picture. Is that DuckDuckGo?
It is.
You're not using Google?
Well, I put DuckDuckGo on my browser, and I forgot it was on this.
Yo.
Well, I don't want them tracking my ass.
That's so funny.
I don't want them tracking my ass.
So the ones that he wears, that this guy is wearing
we might have to revert
picture,
to fucking Google for this shit.
Yeah, because the ones in the middle, those are not the same shoe, but that's basically what they look like on feet.
Okay.
So
no, that looks. Yeah, I've seen people.
They're beautiful. They're sock shoes.
Doesn't he have slides that are really? Doesn't he have like some kind of slip flop? Can you pull those up? They're ugly as fuck.
The foam ones that just came out, they're like.
I'm not saying they're not.
They got a lot of holes in them. You know, I've seen them for the first time in person. So I copped some Louis V shoes recently, and when I was online, the dude. No, that's not what they are.
You might have to go to Google.
Those in the corner, bottom right. That's what they are.
Bottom right, dude. Yeah. They look like I'm about to kayak with those, son.
Bro, I saw the white ones in person, and they actually look dope. Like, they don't look like
Dude, it looks like a tree could grow out of that. Like, I don't know, man.
When I first saw them, I was like, bro, these look like Crocs. Like,
they looks like this? like
looks like I can style it with like personalized buttons.
Dude,
that you put in
put stuff. You can braid shit through the holes.
Yeah,
dude,
I was never really a fan of those.
I'm not gonna knock it.
Yeah, I saw them though in person, and I'm like, it's kind of tough.
How much are those?
To be honest with you, I don't know.
Can we find out?
I was never like into it.
I'm gonna see how ridiculously overpriced these are for just a freaking root in the ground.
You could just go on StockX. I think StockX has like a computer website. But yeah, I copped these. My first designer purchase ever in my life, and you know, look, I don't got it like that. Like, these shoes are not for me to wear; they're for me to resell, and I haven't even brought them home. My family doesn't know I have them because like I do not come from a family that like buys designer anything. So if I were to bring home a big ass Louis Vuitton box, my mom would be like, return those right now, bro.
She's not gonna listen to this, or
no, I mean, even if she does, by the time she sees, no, it's okay. By the time you see this, the shoes will already be sold, and I'll already have profit.
Mom,
in my pocket.
I'm selling. I'm buying and selling. I'm making money. I'm doing business.
I'm not gonna disclose the price in which I bought them, but it's a good like $500 I can make off the shoe, like minimum.
You don't have to disclose the price, but how much is like retail, like to buy them
for
like
Louis Vuittons?
I go online. I want to buy them right now. Can I even find them?
Well.
StockX?
Yeah, you can. No, you can find them on the Louis website. You can find them in stores, but they just go through seasons. So once they have something, they have it until they don't, and then they don't. And then next season, they come out with another shoe that's different. But yeah.
Okay.
So that's basically how designer works. They don't just restock year round. You know?
Oh, so that's why you can buy them and just hold them and then sell them, right? Because
and then that's why they're like $500 more, because once they're gone, they're gone. And if you want them, then you got to pay more, obviously.
Dude, it looks like I could... Oh my god. I don't even know what I would do with that.
Yeah. You see that? And that's for go to actual sizes. When you click sizes, you can see the price for every individual size. So like some shoes in a size 6, it'll say sizes all, and then $369.
Boy, size 9 and 10s, I can cop those for $385, son.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for
freaking dude, a piece of plastic rubber.
That's a lot.
Dude, I'd rather cut out a freaking Michelin tire.
Yeah.
You know, tire companies used to make shoes.
I know.
It was not Michelin though. It was
Firestone. I think.
Firestone. Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it does. So like I don't think that you can make bread like a living selling shoes. It has to be like some sort of legit company. You can't just be like buying, and it's not like remodeling houses where you're actually making so much money that you can actually live off what you're doing. It's just like a fun thing for enthusiasts to do. That's really all it is. And you know, being able to have these shoes, hold on to them, put them in your room, look at them, and then sell them, or you know, wear them, or you know, whatever it is. But I want to get to the point where I can buy $1,000 shoes and like not feel it, and keep them and wear them and not worry about getting them dirty, and get them dirty and then just fucking rebuy them or whatever. Yeah, that's where I'm trying to be
fuck
at.
around money.
Yeah,
fuck around money.
Yeah. So I can fuck around a little bit right now, but I can't be, you know. I mean, even
you can't ball too heavy, too hard, too fast.
Even like all these shoes that I'm talking about me copying, this is over the course of like 2 years. And I have more at home. Like I have shelves, you know, which is tough.
It makes sense that you make music and then you like shoes though, because that's like, dude, when I would be in the studio, like my favorite artists are people or artists who like don't give a fuck about that shit. But like there were obviously great artists who had a ton of like drip.
Yeah.
But
I think I only got into that recently, like looking, making sure that my clothes are on point and making sure that everything is like to a T. And I just don't want to be. I want to. I don't think that you should ever live outside of your means, but I want to look as nice as I can possibly look within my budget right now. So I'm not going to be a couple things that I'm never ever going to be cheap on is like my family, like presents wise. I'm never going to be cheap on food, like I'm never going to sacrifice my health just because it's cheaper. And then clothes and stuff like that, accessories. So
well, experiences for me, I like experiences. For me, like there's just certain things it's all about values. So spend money on things you like, but don't have it be 15 things. Yeah. Like if it's shoes, spend money on shoes. Just don't spend money on other shit too. Then, you know, like same thing. If it's shoes and food, then we do shoes and food.
When I record songs, I don't do nothing else. I don't go out to eat. I don't do nothing else besides record songs and just spend my money on that, and that's it. Because it's like right now, even with the promotion that I got, it's like nothing crazy. Like it's not even. I can't support a family.
Congrats on the promotion, though, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, thank you. Yeah, I can't support like anybody besides myself. You know, I live at home because I want to save up my money a little bit more.
Likewise.
But you know, I have enough to move out. It's just, do I want to wait until I have a little bit more and then maybe cop something that I couldn't afford when I first started? Because you know, people make bad decisions when they're young. So, I spent wasn't really that good of a saver when I was young. So, you know, now I got to make up for it. But, you know, I'm still able to save. Like, the money that I use to buy this shit is not something that I get in a day or even a week, or like, you know, I got to save up to get the things that I want to get. And then, you know, when I have them, like, you know, that's it. Sometimes I resell them, sometimes I don't. But even these sneakers used, like, I still will make profit. You know, I can sell them used for like $400. I bought them for $300. So I've had the shoes for like a year. I've been able to wear them for like a year, and then I sell them and make money. Like, I could just buy them again from my dude that has Jordans, you know, and then sell them new for like $600. It's like, you know.
But you gotta, you're putting what you get back into the same thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really much to do when it comes to trying to, they sell themselves. You know, the market is already there. The middleman, which is GOAT or StockX, is already there. So all you gotta do is put it up and people buy it in a day. Like, it's not, you know.
It's not like my Mac computer from 1985.
It's not like fucking CDs and mutual funds where you gotta wait till it matures, and like even other shit with stocks where you have to wait. You know, it's like immediate gratification, but on a very much smaller scale, because you can't be making bread. Like I said, unless you're getting 30 grand shoes, which there are. You go on StockX, you could type in Nike SB, which are just like you know what those are. Definitely, you said you love Nike, so you type in most Nike SBs and they're over 1,000. like easily. A lot of them are over, 700, because they're all just like special drops. And you have certain shoes, I think, I don't really concern myself too much with the more expensive shoes just because I can't afford it. But there are Jordans that they collabed with Christian Dior, and those shoes are like 15 grand. And then they have Nike SBs that are like, it's like Freddy Krueger themed, and they go for 30 G's on GOAT.
Whoa.
So it's like, that's a lot of money.
Dude.
So if you can get those shoes for $200 and then sell them for 30 G's, and somebody actually buys them for 30 G's, then that's a good flip. But you're not going to do that you can't get more than one pair of that shoe for retail. That's not possible. You're going to have to like steal them or something.
Dude, I think it's crazy that they even go for that much money. But the thing, when you think about cars too, though, is that
those
oh my god,
50 G's now. Wow.
The last sale was 28.
All right. So this green, that's not actually what people are selling, buying it at. That's just the lowest asking price.
Yeah.
But if you see,
it's like eBay.
If you see to the left, it says last sale was 27,000. So somebody actually bought that shoe for half of what they're asking for.
And then the highest bid is at 18.
Yeah.
8 right now.
Yeah.
For that.
For that
shoe.
It's not even that nice looking.
I mean, I wouldn't wear it.
I wouldn't wear it.
Yeah,
I have nothing to wear it with.
When I say like that shoe's ugly or whatever, like I'm going off of just not I'm taking it completely out of context. Just because I'm not a shoe person.
Well, I don't even know if anybody would wear those. It's more so of like a
you'd have them on the
novelty
in a sealed a locked display
vacuum
case.
sealed box, so it doesn't even.
Dude, they probably do store them.
Shoes will last longer than me.
Probably.
Yeah, hand-me-downs.
Yeah. Probably got like a whole freaking warehouse.
Yeah.
Man. It's like somebody though is the Jay Leno of shoes though.
Oh, of course. There are a lot of YouTubers like that make their whole living off of selling shoes, but it's not. They make the living off of the YouTube videos, and then what they do in the videos is selling shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's this one guy, I forgot his name. It starts with an H. I don't even know. His videos are good. Harrison or something. Harrison Neville. Some shit like that. If that's his name, that's crazy. Like he's going hard with the sneaker game. He makes a lot of money, but he gets views, and that's why he makes the money. And then he just spends it on shoes. So that's Harrison Neville. Yeah, he's
got 2 million subs.
This guy, bro, he gets shoes before they even come out for retail, and he sells them for like 10 G's, 5 G's, and it's like over and over and over and over, so that you can make money from. And he has 2 mil subs, so
yeah,
he's balling. Yeah, but he
traded
does
Tesla for shoes.
Yeah, he does a whole bunch of shit besides selling shoes.
That's a testament to that, to just having a freaking personal brand, dude, and just being able to
well, that's the thing. That's the goal, is to be able to monetize your hobby. That's literally what he does. Is he monetizes his hobby? Do
you think about monetizing music?
Of course. That's why you drop it on official platforms.
Yeah, well,
like Apple Music and Tidal and all that shit.
Do you think about making a living off music?
Yes.
Do you have do you see it as like a very tangible goal?
I see it as tangible with years of hard work. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I think that it's possible. I don't think that it's only possible if you have connections. I think if you just continually work hard, you will gain those connections and then be able to make it. For some, it's sheer luck and they blow up. Like they just get discovered, right place, right time, out of nowhere. Like 6ix9ine, they blow up in 6 months. That's wild that he really blew up like that. There are a lot of artists that blow up like that though. When Joey Badass released 1999, like he worked for a long time before that with Pro Era, and then like he released 1999 and that shit blew the hell up, and then a whole bunch of shit happened with Pro Era, but Joey Badass's career took off. So there are ways. It's not impossible. I
know people who have 40,000 fans who make a living off their music.
Oh yeah, and I don't think, like you just said, I don't think that you have to be ultra famous to be.
It's actually probably not as. It's probably better if you have I've always said it's probably better to have a smaller, more hardcore fan base than it is to have a larger fan base of people who just know your name.
Well, that's like Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
He became rich before he blew up off rap.
Yep.
Just because he knew how to market and sell his mixtape. He sold, what was it? He sold a mixtape for $1,000. Was able to market a mixtape to of $1,000 to 100 people. 100 people bought it. He made $100,000. And that's how he tells a story about how he made $100,000 selling his mixtape. Is that he somehow made it so that he probably threw in other shit. I'm sure that people weren't.
Well, he was
just
doing
paying.
all the clothes before the music too. So,
Oh yeah, of course. So he was definitely throwing in some deals for them.
His story is crazy with the selling the clothes on the street.
He's I could talk about him forever, but he's a testament to the fact that it's tangible and possible. You just have to manifest it, like we were talking about before. So, I think that it's definitely possible. I think that that's my ultimate goal is to do that. I don't need to be ultra famous, but like you said, like I just want to be financially stable, to the point where I don't need to work for this. If I can make as much money as I'm making right now off of music, I would be completely fine with that. And even keeping in mind what I said before about not being able to support a family on my salary right now. Yep. I just find, I just have my wife be somebody who makes close to what I make or more. I don't care. More, that's amazing. But if they make close to what I make, then that's enough to, live and be able to afford shit and have 2 kids or whatever. I don't care. I don't need to be like Lil Uzi, ultra famous. I mean, that would be cool to blow up to that extent, get a Lamborghini or something, but it doesn't need to be that. I really just am in it for the music and the culture or whatever.
I know you said you've been taking some time kind of for yourself, but what's next for Psy? What's happening for Psy?
So, like I said before, it's been difficult for me to write, but I haven't been completely void of any progress at all. So I still sing from time to time, and I'm working a lot on my older stuff that I never finished. Not like really old stuff, like stuff I was working on last year and just never finished. And there's some great songs in the mix of those. I think I have like 3 or 4. I'm actually pissed right now. One of the singles has been done for about a month and a half now, like mastered and everything. But the original artist, I mean, she's so great. I'm not going to shit talk her right now because there's nothing to shit talk about. She's a intelligent and like great artist, like, in general. But when I gave her this project, she kind of like just kept telling me like, oh, and I'll have it next week. I'll have it in 2 weeks. And then like at the end of 3 weeks, she was just like, oh, I'm not really in a creative space to like do this right now. I'm sorry. And she apologized and like told me, I'm not mad at her, but it's just, it sucks. The situation sucks because now I've been waiting for this like cover art and it's not done. So, then I gave it to somebody else, but they're not even free enough to like hop on a call with me. So I'm like, fuck, how long is it going to take for them to edit this? I'm just thinking about that now. I mean, I just gave them the project like earlier this week. So, it's just difficult because now I have, and COVID messed everything up, man. It messed with everybody's creativity because my original artist before the one that I first mentioned, she's phenomenal. I have drawings and paintings that she made hanging up in my room. Like, her art is phenomenal. It doesn't always need to be musical. But yeah, like COVID really messed with her creativity, and she said that for a while she's not going to take on any new commissions. No offense to me or anybody else, but it's just she has to, like I did, focus on herself, and so I'm not mad at her, but I'm just upset because now I have to find somebody as talented as her, and it's hard. So I've gone through a couple people, but so, if anybody out there knows somebody that does photography or something that can help me out with this project, let me know. I'll send you the song, it's unreleased, but you know, I'll send you the song and you guys can figure out, you know, if it's a project for you, and we can get into it and hopefully release this song. It's called Summer Snow. It's a dope song. Yeah.
That's dope.
I'm not going to tell you anything about the song.
Don't. I have two people in mind that can help you,
ahead.
so I will give them to you right after this.
Thank
you. And not saying that, you know, both of them are very, very different. One of them I've worked with extensively, like more than any other person I've ever worked with, which is my good friend Aaron. And he's done a lot of my covers for me. He's a photographer. He's creative. He's just a crazy creative mind.
Yeah.
And a brilliant photographer. And then somebody else who I'm thinking about just did a cover for one of my friends who is one of the most, you know, popular artists that I know personally.
Yeah. Cool.
So between those two, hopefully, maybe
sounds good. Yeah.
Something.
Hopefully I will. Yeah. Because I definitely want to release this, and then there are a couple of summer singles that I have in the works, but right now I'm working up through a whole bunch of kinks and like still trying to figure out beats, and you know, I've transitioned to not use YouTube beats and not hit up producers online and just contact like local people, but then I figured I might as well just make beats with the producer that I'm engineering with. So like it's just easier. We create it in the vibe and like record right then and there and then go from there. So it's just been difficult finding somebody that's close by with, doesn't even need to be a nice setup. They just need to be knowledgeable with producing as I am with, you know, what I need to do. And we'll just vibe. And
I don't know if you'd be down, but I'm down to work on something.
You're too damn far.
Yeah, I know, dude. Facts.
Too damn far.
I'll send you shit. Whatever. We do that. It's
the farthest I can travel for recording is like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Just because it's like I work during the week, and even though like I said, I work 7 to 3, I have to wake up at like 4:30 every morning. So I can't be going to sleep at like 12 o'clock at night. Yeah. You know, I work Monday through Friday, so today I'm good. Tomorrow I'll sleep in or whatever and then go on that hike. But I can't be staying up late and stuff. So, you know, dude, I need to do what I need to do and then get home.
Yeah,
so,
man, I feel you on that because, I there's nothing out here, dude. Like, nobody even does this.
Yeah, I know.
So,
it's like 15 minutes towards the nearest highway.
Like, yes, and I drove an hour there, an hour back to a studio every single day to not even get paid for when I couldn't.
Yeah, just to learn.
I couldn't even pay my rent.
That's
like
the vault.
I was
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even pay my rent. Like I was just taking my rent out of savings until I had no money left. And you know, so man, I feel you on the distance, man. It's brutal, but you know,
it is.
I'm. Dude, you're a great artist, man.
Thank you, man.
You're a great artist to work with. You're a great artist to perform with. You're just real, and I just knew that from when we were in the studio. And you just spitting what you got to spit. And I love that you're doing your new sound now and mixing it and trying.
Don't lie, I know you like me rapping more.
No, but dude, remember when you showed me that stuff when we were in Hoboken and sitting in your car? Like, dude, I was vibing with that stuff.
Okay.
The thing is, dude, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm gonna be honest with artists. Like, that's the thing.
Of course.
Artists, like, they don't need to like me because I'm gonna tell them. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it's in you, it's in you, dude. Like, if you can make hooks, you can make hooks. It's just if you want to learn how to make hooks, you're gonna learn how to make hooks. It is what. Do I love Simon spitting bars? Yeah, dude. But like, dude, I also want to be able to listen to your songs over and over again. And the way I'm gonna do that is if it has a dope hook. So, and that's anybody, right? And I'm just gonna, of course. And that's why the best thing you can have is, you know, somebody who's.
I still think that there's levels for me to go before I'm like.
Dude, we got work. We got work to do.
I think that I'm on the path. I think that I have what it takes, but I think that I need more discipline, more, you know.
Me too.
Manifestation.
Let's manifest, bro. Hey, man. Well, you know, let people know where they can find you, your IG and everything.
So
I'll have it all in the description, but just so they know.
Word. I'm most active on my Instagram, and then it's so cliche to say, but in a link in my bio, on Instagram, it brings you to a page and you can literally see everything. So my YouTube is on there, which I'm sorry I haven't been active on. My Facebook is on there. I don't use Twitter, but like links to specific music videos are on there, and then usually my like most recent drop on all platforms. So like I'll have an Apple Music link, a Spotify link, or whatever it is. So I try to tailor it so that people don't get turned off by like, oh, I only have Spotify, but they only have Apple Music links. It's such a fucking hassle. Like,
even though you're on every platform,
yeah. So I need to have all the links for them, just so that if there's a fan out there that like clicks on my page for the first time, likes a snippet, and then they click on that link and it's not personalized towards them, they won't feel the need to look into it deeper, because they'll be like, oh, he's just another random post.
The worst thing I heard somebody say one time is they'll find it if they want to find it. That is not true at all.
No.
For me, if it's not, if the link doesn't go, if I don't have the link I need, I'm going to go.
Or if it says page not found, I'm not going to refresh the page. I'm just going to X out of it.
Dude, I'm gone. I'm done. All right, you lost me. You lost me. But, dude, awesome, man. Hey, well, thanks for being here today, man. I really appreciate you doing this.
Thank you for inviting me.
Anytime, man. I had a great time. And yeah, you can find all of the song that Simon and I did together. It's going to be in the description as well. The music video we did too. If you want to check that out. Five Fingers, man. What a great! I just love that song, and just cool. So cool to work on it with you, man. And
that was an awesome song.
Here's to many more, man. And to for you to come back on this podcast.
Really quick. The song that you met me on. Right, like in Tyler's studio with everybody in it. I still haven't released it simply because there's no hook on it, and I need to find a beat that, like, a producer that can, splice a fucking part of the beat in there for the hook, so that I could create something. Because I have a couple hooks, but I just don't have like a beat that, because I hit somebody up on YouTube for that beat, so I can't. They're not accessible. They're not gonna do some personalized edit for me if like all I have is a unlimited lease or whatever it is. So I need to find like an actual beat for that song, and once I do, that's one of the songs that I'm like going back and finishing. Once I do and I record a hook for that song will be released, and that song is that's bars. That's bars side.
That's what got me
that
on
shit
it.
Is, oh my god.
That's what got me on
it.
side.
I love it even now, and I don't even
Rightful
make music.
Disciple, son.
Yeah, oh my god. Shouts out to Rightful Disciple.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Who's that guy? I don't know.
Nah, he was
dope bars, huh?
Yeah, that was my old name, but
by the way, the new name?
Just a lot more marketable. Yeah.
Just it's clean and simple. Perfect.
Very, very clean and simple. The other thing, like you said, like if you don't got me, you don't have me, like right when you so, my performances were always great, like not to say anything, like I really like performing on stage. There are a couple times that I forget the lyrics to my songs or whatever, or choke or some shit, but for the most part, like I really like performing. And I think that when people hear me do a song successfully, they actually pull out their phones. Like I see a lot of people at the end of my performance pull out their phones to try to follow me, but it was always so difficult because everybody else would be on stage spelling their names and like making sure people get it, but it's so simple. I'm like, oh, I'm Rightful Disciple, and then some people say Rightful Discipline. I've been introduced on stage as a performer as Rightful Discipline, and like Rightful is in RIFLE instead of Rightful, so it was
Rightful
like
Discipline.
Oh my god, it
You're
was
a
a
gun
whole
magazine now, dude.
Yeah, it was a whole like different problem that I needed to eliminate. So Psy is easy, it's SYE. And it's literally part of my name, so it's so simple. My family used to call me that when I was a kid, and it's I needed a name that would because Rightful Disciple, first of all, sounds religious. Second of all, if you know me, you put me in a box of like lyrical rapper. You would never listen to a pop artist called Rightful Disciple. It just doesn't fit, so I had to tailor my name more so to like who I am as a person. Yeah. I mean, that's J. Cole. That's literally J is Jermaine Cole. Like that's literally his name. So there are a lot of people like that.
True, and Therapist was dope, but it wasn't him. It wasn't him personally. So yeah, man. No, it makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to leave people with before we wrap, or is that it?
No, I'm not that active right now, but I'm trying to be more so. Trying to work on some old stuff. I got music out right now, so if you want to, definitely follow me. Like I said, I'm not as active, but that link there, it has all of my stuff on it. So if you want to check out Five Fingers, that was on an EP that I released last year. Five Fingers is a song that me and Sully did. That stuff is amazing. I really like that album.
Dude,
really proud of that album.
So dope.
And then yeah, it's just a progression through. It's called Everything in Between, and it's basically all of my emotions and everything in between. Like every single type of emotion you could ever have is one of those songs. So that's pretty awesome. And then I released a couple singles after that. There's I Wish, which was very lyrical, and then there was Found My Way, and the one with Ethan Ross. What was that? Wow. See You Down. That's a great song. I love those, and those are drastically different.
I love See You Down.
Found My Way is like storytelling vibes and like yeah.
Talk about a hook.
So I still got it. I know that.
Bro, talk about a hook. That hook. That right when you said Found My Way, boom, right in my head. Go listen to it. You're gonna be addicted to that shit.
Yes.
You know, put it
and
on
I'll
your
be back
rotation.
soon. New and improved.
I'll be back soon. We'll be making some shit too, and we'll be getting up on stage too. Yo, real quick, Bad Minds.
Yes. Okay. So just real quick, we've been inactive obviously because of COVID, and it's getting warmer out, so we're gonna be doing something in June. So that's all I can say for right now.
That's all you got to say.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of BOPCAST. I am your host, Sully Bop, SULLYBOP. You know where to find me. You know, we are on all platforms, even the ones nobody uses. That's BOPCAST, BOPCAST. That's how you find us. Thank you so much.
Go and use it someday.
You know it, brother. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace out.
Never give up hope.
Who am I supposed to be? Would you do the most for me? All the people that are close to me. Never give up hope for me.